The sound of laughter and clinking glasses filled my parents' backyard as Mom's 60th birthday celebration was in full swing. I sat in the corner with my laptop, working on the final touches of the acquisition paperwork. "Look at her," my brother Michael's voice carried across the garden. "Still coding in her bedroom like a teenager." I glanced at my screen where an email from Goldman Sachs waited. "Ms. Chen, final acquisition amount confirmed. $5.2 billion. Congratulations on creating the most advanced AI system in commercial history." "Sarah," Mom called out, "put that computer away. This is a party, not one of your, what do you call them, coding sessions." I tried explaining to her what I did, how neurotech AI was revolutionizing everything from medical diagnostics to financial markets. But she just smiled and asked when I was going to get a real job, like Michael's investment banking career. "Still living in your old room?" my Aunt Susan asked, her voice dripping with false sympathy. "You know, my friend's company is hiring secretaries." My old room was actually my primary development lab, where I'd created an AI system that had just made me a billionaire. But they didn't need to know that. "Not yet. Ms. Chen," my CEO messaged, "acquisition announcement scheduled for 3 p.m. All major news outlets standing by. Current company valuation, $5.2 billion. Your net worth after sale, $4.1 billion. Michael sauntered over, champagne in hand. "Hey sis. Still playing with your little computer programs? You know, my firm just promoted me to VP. Real work, you know." His firm? One of the many that had tried to buy my AI technology last year. They'd offered $50 million. I'd turned them down without even a meeting. "Sarah," my mother appeared, pearls glinting in the sunlight, "at least try to socialize. The Andersons are asking about you. Though I told them you're still finding your way." The Andersons, whose medical technology company would be implementing my AI system next month, paying millions for the privilege. They had no idea their revolutionary new software was created by the lost daughter in the corner. "Finding my way?" I smiled slightly. "Something like that. Still coding." Dad joined in, investment reports tucked under his arm. "Really, Sarah, it's embarrassing. Your brother manages billion-dollar portfolios. I manage trillion-byte neural networks. But who was counting?" My phone buzzed. "Final testing complete. AI system integration successful across all platforms. Ready for public announcement." "Sarah," my mother's best friend glided over, "do try to look more professional. The Harrisons remember you from that coding bootcamp phase." The Harrisons, whose entire trading algorithm was now powered by my AI, generating millions in profit they attributed to their brilliant development team. "Ms. Chen," another message flashed, "tech stocks rallying in anticipation of announcement. Your system's predictive accuracy has exceeded 99.8% in final tests." Michael returned, this time with his girlfriend Jessica, a tech consultant who'd once told me Python was too basic for real development. "Still writing those little programs?" Jessica smirked. "You know, real tech work requires more than just basic coding, Sarah. Not everyone has what it takes. Basic coding. Like creating an artificial intelligence system that could predict market movements, diagnose diseases and process human language better than any existing technology. Like building a company that had just sold for billions while they mocked my computer programs." "Look at her," Michael Stage whispered to Mom, "hiding behind her laptop while we celebrate. Maybe this will finally make her understand that hobby coding isn't a real career." Real career. Like the empire I'd built while they dismissed my little programs. But here I sat in my corner watching them celebrate, none of them knowing that in exactly 3 minutes, their phones would alert them to the biggest tech acquisition of the year. "Ms. Chen," my phone lit up again, "press release approved. Countdown to announcement. 2 minutes. All major financial networks standing by." I looked around the garden at all these successful people in their expensive clothes, celebrating my mother's birthday. None of them knew that the hobby coder in the corner was about to become one of the richest tech founders in history. "Such a shame," my father's voice carried. "All that education and she ends up coding in her bedroom." I smiled, watching the time tick down on my phone. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's having everyone's phones buzz at once with news of exactly how successful you've become. The countdown reached 0 just as Michael was launching into another story about his impressive portfolio management. Suddenly, every phone in the garden buzzed simultaneously. Breaking news. Mysterious AI company Neurotech acquired for $5.2 billion. I kept typing, hiding my smile as the notifications continued to flood in. The garden fell silent except for the sound of dozens of people opening their news alerts. $5 billion. Jessica whispered, her perfectly manicured finger scrolling through the article. For an AI company nobody's heard of? Michael leaned over her shoulder, frowning. That's impossible. I track all major tech acquisitions. This company wasn't even on the radar. Ms. Chen, my CEO messaged. Stock markets responding. Tech sector up 3% on acquisition news. Your real-time net worth now $4.3 billion. Mom was reading from her iPad, her voice growing increasingly confused. Neurotech's AI system has been secretly powering major financial institutions, healthcare systems, and tech companies for the past year. That's the system we just implemented. Mr. Anderson exclaimed, nearly spilling his drink. The one that increased our diagnostic accuracy by 90%. Wait, Michael's head snapped up. That's the same algorithm my firm started using last quarter. The one that doubled our trading profits. I continued coding, making minor adjustments to the neural network that was about to be revealed as the most advanced AI system ever created. The system I'd built in my bedroom office. Ms. Chen, another message flashed. Major networks requesting interviews. CNN, Bloomberg, and CNBC all standing by. Also, MIT Technology Review wants to feature you on their cover. The founder remains anonymous. Dad read aloud, squinting at his phone. Known only by the initial. The garden grew quieter as realization began to dawn. Slowly, heads started turning toward my corner. Sarah, Michael's voice cracked slightly. What exactly have you been working on all this time? Before I could answer, everyone's phones buzzed again. The second wave of news alerts hit. Neurotech founder revealed. Sarah Chen's AI empire revolutionizes tech industry. The sound of shattering glass broke the silence as Jessica dropped her champagne flute. That's not possible, she stammered. Sarah just codes basic programs. I finally looked up from my laptop. Basic programs like the AI system that's been running your entire consulting firm's operations for the past 6 months. Ms. Chen, my phone lit up. Your net worth just updated to $4.5 billion with market response. You are now the youngest self-made female tech billionaire in history. But you work from your bedroom, Mom whispered. Actually, I closed my laptop. That bedroom is a quantum computing lab. Those little programs Michael mocked? They're now the most advanced artificial intelligence system in the world. Michael's face had turned an interesting shade of pale. The trading algorithm that got me promoted was mine, I finished for him. Along with the systems running most major financial institutions. Turns out those basic coding skills were worth something after all. Sarah, Dad stepped forward, his banker's instincts kicking in. Why didn't you tell us? We could have helped. Helped? I raised an eyebrow. Like when you told the Harrisons I was wasting time with coding? Or when Mom suggested I take a secretarial course instead of playing with computers? My phone buzzed again, tech stocks surging. Neurotech acquisition triggering market-wide rally. Your system predicting 15% growth by market close. The system that's been predicting market movements, Mr. Harrison muttered. The one that made us millions, you created that in your bedroom? Among other things, I smiled. Like the AI that's been running your hospital's diagnostic systems, Aunt Susan. The one you called a miracle of modern medicine last month. The look on her face was priceless. But you've been here every day, Michael sputtered. Just sitting in your room with that laptop. I opened my computer again, showing them the complex neural network visualizations dancing across my screen. Managing an AI system that processes more data in a second than your firm handles in a year. Would you like to see the algorithm that got you that promotion? Jessica stepped forward, her tech consultant facade crumbling. Those institutional systems we've been implementing, the ones we couldn't figure out. We're all Neurotech AI, I nodded. Your entire consulting practice has been selling my technology. You just didn't know it. More phones buzzed. The third wave of news alerts hit. Neurotech AI system revealed as power behind major financial markets, healthcare systems and tech platforms. Miss Chen, my CEO messaged, Nasdaq requesting you ring the closing bell next week. Also, Harvard Business School wants you to deliver their commencement address. Mom sank into a nearby chair, her birthday celebration forgotten. All those times we told you to get a real job. I had one, I replied calmly. Running a company that just sold for more money than Michael's firm manages in total. Michael's face reddened. But I'm a VP. I handle billion-dollar portfolios. And I created the AI that makes those portfolios profitable, I countered. Check your trading terminal, brother dear. That miracle algorithm that earned you that promotion? It has my signature in its code. Dad was frantically scrolling through financial news sites. This says Neurotech's AI has been secretly running most major financial institutions. Including your bank, Dad, I smiled. That new system that revolutionized your risk assessment department? Mine. Ms. Chen, another message flashed. Your net worth just hit $4.7 billion with the latest market surge. Wall Street Journal requesting exclusive interview for their Tech Titans series. The garden had become a tableau of shocked faces and dropped jaws. These were the same people who'd spent years dismissing my work, mocking my bedroom coding, suggesting I find a real career. Sarah, Mom finally found her voice again. Why didn't you tell us you were successful? Successful. I laughed softly. Mom, I'm not just successful. I created the most advanced artificial intelligence system in history. While you were suggesting secretarial courses, I was building an empire. Jessica was still staring at her phone in disbelief. But you never said anything when I explained basic coding concepts to you. You mean when you incorrectly explained Python syntax? I raised an eyebrow. I was busy designing quantum algorithms at the time. It seemed impolite to correct you. Ladies and gentlemen, a new voice cut through the stunned silence. Everyone turned to see a group of suited executives entering the garden, led by Mark Thompson, CEO of Global Tech Solutions. Ms. Chen, he smiled, extending his hand toward my corner. Congratulations on revolutionizing the entire tech industry. My mother's champagne glass slipped from her fingers as she watched one of the most powerful tech CEOs in the world walk straight toward her unemployed daughter. Mark, I nodded, closing my laptop. I trust the integration is proceeding as planned? Better than planned, he grinned. Your AI system has already improved our efficiency by 300%. The board is ecstatic. Michael stepped forward, his VP confidence somehow still intact. I'm sorry, but how do you two know each other? Know each other? Mark laughed. Your sister has been the most sought-after person in tech for the past year. Every major company has been trying to figure out who was behind Neurotech. My phone buzzed again. Ms. Chen, your net worth just hit $4.9 billion. Time magazine wants you for their Person of the Year cover. But she's just... Jessica started. Just the creator of the most advanced AI system ever developed, Mark finished. The technology that's been running most of the world's major institutions for the past year. Dad stumbled forward. Running most. What? I pulled out my tablet, displaying a global map dotted with thousands of points of light. Each of these points represents a major institution running my AI. Banks, hospitals, tech companies, government agencies. Government agencies? Michael's face went pale. The NSA has been trying to recruit her for years, Mark added helpfully. Along with every other major tech company. But she preferred working from her. What did you call it? Bedroom office? Mom had found her voice again. But all those hours alone just typing on your computer were spent building this. I pulled up the neural network visualization. The complex patterns flowing across the screen made Jessica's eyes go wide. That's not possible, she whispered. This level of AI development would require a genius-level understanding of quantum computing, neural networks, and advanced mathematics? Mark supplied. Yes, that's why we paid $5.2 billion for it. Another group of executives entered the garden, this time from major financial institutions. I recognized the CEO of Michael's firm among them. Ms. Chen, he called out, ignoring Michael completely. The integration of your AI has transformed our entire trading platform. Would you consider joining our board of directors? Michael's face turned an interesting shade of green as he watched his boss bypass him to speak to his unemployed sister. Unfortunately, I smiled, I'm a bit busy. The quantum computing research facility I'm building should keep me occupied. Quantum computing facility? Dad sputtered. Yes, I nodded. I bought that wasteland property you mocked last year. Turns out it's perfect for a $500 million research campus. My phone lit up again. Ms. Chin, SpaceX and NASA both requesting meetings about implementing your AI for space exploration. Speaking of meetings, Mark interjected, the President's Technology Advisory Council is waiting for your response. Mom nearly fainted. Sarah, Michael stepped forward, his voice taking on a familiar condescending tone. Why didn't you tell us you were working on something significant? Significant. Mark laughed. Your sister just created an AI system that's more advanced than anything Google, Apple, and Microsoft have developed combined. Significant doesn't begin to cover it. I stood up, smoothing down my simple black dress, the one Mom had criticized as unprofessional. I did tell you, I said quietly. Every time I tried to explain my work, you called it playing with computers. Every time I talked about AI development, you suggested I get a real job. Every time I mentioned neural networks, you reminded me that Michael was a VP. The garden was silent except for the continued buzzing of phones as more news alerts rolled in. Ms. Chin, my CEO messaged, Forbes wants to feature you on their 30 under 30 foot cover. Also, your net worth just hit $5 billion with the latest market surge. Well, I picked up my laptop. I should go. I have a quantum computing facility to build and apparently I need to take some calls from NASA. But the party. Mom stammered. Don't worry, I smiled. I'm sure Michael can tell you more stories about his VP position. Though he might want to look closely at his trading algorithms first. I just pushed an update that might affect his brilliant investment strategies. As I walked toward the waiting executives, I heard Jessica whisper, all this time, while we were mocking her coding. Oh, and Mom. I turned back. About that real job you wanted me to get? Check your phone's stock alerts. I think you'll find my bedroom coding worked out just fine. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just success. It's having your AI system run the entire world while they mock your basic coding skills.